Well, hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Double RPG here, and welcome to another exciting and stellar episode of the Riff Table Arcade. And it's going to be a really big, great episode for us all today, as we're going to be talking something of a rumor that just popped up that I'm actually kind of excited to talk about while we give our own rumor speculations on what is all going to go on. But anyway, joining me this week, as always, for the Riff Table Arcade, or for this episode only, there is 16-Bit Jeff.
What's up?
And there is FighterXaos.
Hi!
So yeah, how you guys doing this time around since we did our last episode?
Oh, let's just say where I live, I've been feeling crappy because of the weather.
Oh, well,
Oh, are you guys snowed in still?
we're both live in the same city, so yes, we both...
Don't
yes,
you hear the bell?
I can show you through my webcam
I'm here to
in
help
a little bit
Rule
Ditto.
number
just
one,
how much snow there
don't
is out
get
here.
killed.
Oh yeah. Oh, does it take up a lot of memory, the webcam, or when recording?
Yeah, I noticed when I'm recording a sound, the bandwidth was going, hey, you can't have both. And I'm like, oh, fine. Turn you off.
Frack.
Where's your
Like, well, screw you too.
Stick to the
My
darkness until you find one.
Skype was going,
Watch
I
out.
was like,
They're
no, we
coming
don't want
this way.
robots. All right, fine, I'll turn you off.
As
As for Jeff, keep going. Is that all?
yeah, like I said, I've been
Before I get to
feeling
me.
a little. I've been feeling a little on the weather. Like I'm not sick, but it's just like my body's been
It's
feeling
that weird
because of
feeling. I know
Yeah.
what you mean. You're not necessarily sick, like you
Find
just
a place
said,
to hide.
but it's under the weather. I guess it would be the best way to put it, because you're not feeling 100% either.
like I'm like you know, in the sense of tiredness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You don't feel
Yeah.
you don't feel 100% like you, but you also are not
Hold on.
sick or
Run, and they'll be able to hear it.
bedridden. You don't feel bad like
Yeah, it felt off, but not
Yeah.
sick.
exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like it's not the
Get under that
snow.
knife.
Like it's not the
From
snow
there,
that's doing
you
it.
can pull
It's
yourself up.
the temperature that we've been having for the last
Every
3 to
time
4 weeks.
every time I go outside and come back, I am dog tired.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, I don't know if you know, but each and every night where we live has been literally in the negatives.
Yeah, below zero. Yeah.
Mhm.
We live in Skyrim, Double R.
No, jeez, Fuzro
Very
Dotty,
much.
you guys. Fuzro Dotty, you guys.
As for me, the only thing I have to add is I finished my last piece of free art. As people know, if you saw the Flash animations of the last episode, I
You're
draw.
out cold. Looks
Ah,
like we don't
okay.
know you're alive.
And people have been asking
Let's
me
keep
to
that.
draw for them for free a lot, even though I say I do commissions cheap. All I ask is $1 or $5
Now you're ready
the
to
most.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning
Or
of the
500
game is like
points if you're on
embracing a
DeviantArt.
lover.
Mm.
The end,
So,
of
you know,
course,
and then
not.
one person asked me to do an art trade. I was like, ah.
Fine.
I did, and that was it. I did that last art trade. I finished it yesterday, and after that, I posted a rant. I was like, I can't afford to keep drawing for free. So with that done, now that I'm not drawing for free anymore, I'm focusing on a webcomic, guys.
Oh, nice.
And on my end, I to people who
You write
don't know,
articles,
listen to this podcast, I write articles on BrokenInfinite.com, and to whomever has read the recent one that I did, which was my top 10 personal Legend of Zelda games, thank you very much. And this
How topical.
weekend, I'm sorry.
What?
I said, how topical.
I know, because we're going to get into it. But I just want to clarify that the next one, which is a top 10, but because of the series, it's going to be a top 9. That should be up hopefully on Saturday. If not, it will definitely be up on the weekend, most likely Sunday.
Okay.
So keep an eye on that over at the BrokenInfinite.com.
Awesome. And on my end, I'm definitely gonna. I just, even though I said that I've finally been getting on the ground with getting to work on the Mega Man X4 review, I still have not even gotten around to doing so. So that's probably something I'll be working on later. But in terms of my time down with not doing reviews, since I had that full month off of taking a break, I actually did get a new graphics card, which I told you guys about right before we started, for my computer. and it's a and I do quote, a PNY GeForce FX GTX 960 2GB GDDR5 graphics card. So yeah, that thing's a beast when I play games on my PC now, because I haven't experienced any lag issues or, you know, any CPU problems or whatsoever. Probably might upgrade to a new or better CPU, so that way some of the newer games like Metal Gear Solid 5 that I can actually try out on my PC, because it actually takes probably takes a better processor than the one I have. Mine's an Intel i5, so maybe I'd upgrade to a better one next year. But yeah, no, it's not on the mind right now. But yes, coming up for Double RPG reviews and for Game Riffers in general, I will definitely be having some PC footage playing in the background, and even in this video as we speak.
Nice.
Or not in the episode that we post on YouTube. So I'll definitely be on the working on getting that.
Good work.
Getting, capturing footage on that on my end.
Right.
But yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, I was going to say that when I first got it, I couldn't even run it because my power supply did not have a 6-pin connector to connect to the graphics card. So I had to go to my Best Buy, and because the power supply I had was a 300-watt power supply, and it actually needed up to at least 400 watts. So I went to my Best Buy and I picked up a 430-watt power supply, and I finally got the connectors that I need and the 6-pin connector to connect to my graphics card, and now everything is running just fine. Might be upgrading the RAM with 8 gigabytes of RAM from 4 gigabytes each, but possibly at a later time. But we'll have to see. But other than that, it's just it's running really well. So definitely be on the lookout for me in the future when it comes to PC content coming on not only my channel but as well as the Game Riffers. Anyway, what were we going to say, Jerry?
I just wanted to say, speaking of Game Riffers content and updates, before I forget, I might as well say it now. I'll type in the chat what game it is. But I've been racking my brain for a game to play. To Riff. Since we had a bunch of Nintendo games, Mario and Pokemon, and we're like, might want to wait
about that
about Nintendo games being played and YouTube copyrights and all that. I was like, what do we play?
Mm-hmm.
And I got suggested a game by a friend of mine on DeviantArt, and I'll type the name of the game in there. I'm gonna try, and the reason I'm saying because I'll forget it later. Watch when we end, so I'll say it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and play a little bit. I'm going to try and record some footage of this game, see how it goes, and see if we'll make a Let's Play out of it.
Okay.
And this is the game right here. It's for you guys.
Ooh!
Woo!
As you can hear by their squeals.
Love that game!
This
I
ought
used
to be
to
fun.
own that game.
Why is it up on the PSN still?
I know. Come on, Atlas. I want my on the PSN right now. Come on, chop. I don't care.
We'll beep it.
Okay, I'll beep it for you. But still, I want it on my PSN, Atlas. You're breaking my balls over here.
Yep. No. You don't mean Atlas, you mean Sega.
Of course, Sega. And, I'm not that surprised why Sonic Boom's Rise of Lyric and Shattered Crystal sold underneath 500,000 copies combined. I'm not that very surprised.
Don't get me started not on that, but because of what I found out about Alien Isolation. Sold 1.7 million units. But yeah, it's a Sega. It's sold and unperformed in sales.
Yes.
So that means we're not getting a sequel.
Yep, sadly that is, and most Sega's philosophy or their strategy now with games is going to be on mobiles and PC, it seems.
2 questions. 1, they had a philosophy. 2, they had a business structure.
I thought it was all just Sonic.
See that door?
Exactly.
Don't open it yet.
Mm-hmm.
No. Sonic. And then the occasional Virtua Fighter, but Sonic.
Yep, so looks like we're probably going to be seeing Sonic games appear on the PC platform from now on.
Oh, and since this episode is gonna be a little bit more centric to Zelda in regards to the topic, before the end, before we get to something else that I know Jerry wants to talk about near the end of this episode, I do want to bring up a little rumor that came out, and I do not like it.
Okay, go ahead.
It came up on ZeldaInformer.com. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And apparently, the next game that could be coming out for the new Nintendo 3DS exclusive software is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Oh, yes. I remember reading about this too, but why a new Nintendo 3DS exclusive? Why not make it exclusive to Wii U? Or better yet, how about getting Skyward Sword with traditional controls for a Wii U port or a Wii U HD remake?
Or better yet, I don't know. How about Ocarina of Time? I mean, I like the game, but how about Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword in a bundle for Wii U?
Yeah, and I even, seen some people, even though there's a lot of people that actually do like Twilight Princess, but I've been kind of seeing someone show their discontent about it because they really consider Twilight Princess to be the weakest of the series for them, and that was Jamie Butterworthy from Gamers at Large that mentioned about, he didn't really like the realistic direction that the game took.
Oh my god. Look, I have nothing against Butterworthy, but the notion is, I don't get why people say that a realistic direction for Zelda cannot work. It can.
Well, it can, but...
Hey, steampunk can't work either, apparently, for some reason.
Any style can. It's just the fact of notion. If it goes overabundance with that style, then I can see people getting pissed. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it.
Work for them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of it saying being realistic, but it's just the art style. I guess that's where he was going with. What he actually did like the art style for the more recent Zelda games that came out, even Skyward Sword, for instance.
I can, if he means that he didn't like the style because of how dated it looks graphically, I can take that. That does make sense. But at the same time, like, I felt the art style worked very well, especially with the art, or in regards to what the art department did, like from the landscape of both what Hyrule looked pre-Twilight and in the Twilight realm looked like as well. I thought the game was beautiful.
Oh, of course.
But I can understand where Butterworthy is coming from. Like, I know that game is really a diverse game, just like a game that a game that's coming out recently and actually tomorrow, Majora's Mask. I remember back in 2000, that was a very diverse game because of how different it was. And I feel like that's what the problem is in regards to gamers. It's just that they don't like different things. They don't like change.
Are they becoming complacent?
I just said that.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I think you can put that under complacent. Because that's true. It's just like with Microsoft fanboys, they just want nothing but generic shooters. Like with Sony, I'm not gonna say Sony because I know I don't even get why they call this, but Sony ponies. I don't get why they call that. I really don't.
I still crack up when I hear that.
I get disgusted. Like, I want to throw up my mouth a little bit when I hear that.
What did they... Sony ponies, do they think that most Sony fanboys just watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? Is that where they got the analogy from?
I don't know.
I really don't know. I really don't know. But I know there's some things that, associate with Sony, like... I can't say, but I can't say from firsthand. Like, I imagine Jerry would, because he's more associated with that fan base. You know what I mean? And with Nintendo, like, you can even say for yourself too. There's just been a lot of fans like, "Oh, we don't want change. We want the same we haven't for the last 20 years."
Yeah, that I get disgusted whenever I hear that because I actually do want to see change take effect. I mean, it doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be right away, but just like one step at a time.
Yeah,
it does
like
because
we're going to talk about, ironically.
Yeah, because if they did something of change just right away, that'd be like, okay, that's kind of questionable. You would do it that fast because things would need to take a lot of time and preparation to actually set things right or to even announce it at the right time to make a change. Because that was kind of the thing that was my beef when it came to 2013 with the Microsoft presser, when it came to the DRM policy with the Xbox One. It's like a week, it was either during the week of E3 2013 or a week after was when they announced that the Xbox One wouldn't have any DRM attached to it. And it's like, don't you think that's kind of was something that you shouldn't have had to begin with? I know they want to try to, what is the word I'm looking for? Try to lower down on used software, but really that's not, now it's not a good time because, there's not a lot of people that have a lot of money, and so they need to be as cheap as possible. So it's not really something that's I wouldn't say acceptable, but just something that's not ready yet.
Like, in regards to Nintendo, the only way I would accept that as a company decision is, like, whether it was the Wii U or the next-gen successor, if it was selling as poorly as the Virtual Boy.
Right.
That would be the only time I was like, okay, do anything drastic, I'll be perfectly fine, just do something that's smart.
Yeah, and even Michael Pachter still thinks that the Wii U's a failure. Well, it's doing a lot better than the Virtual Boy, in my opinion.
Oh, true, but at the same time, I don't think it's a big failure, but it has...
It has stumbled. It has hit roadblocks where it hasn't been successful so far.
Yeah, look, I wasn't expecting the same numbers of Wii. No one is. I'm hoping to God Nintendo wasn't, because if that was the case, that shows that they did a stupid move to Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean...
Well, we can only hope for their next generation console or the successor that it will actually be a lot more streamlined to where actually developers will actually develop for them.
Well, not that, but actually Nintendo themselves going out to set developers before making that console and saying, like, look, what do you guys want in this system? Kind of like what Sony did.
Yeah, exactly.
And people say, like, oh, no, Sony can't copy. They're a company, and they're going to do something that would suit them better as a conglomerate. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if one company copies another. We've seen that play in time.
Everybody has to take inspiration from their competitors in order to improve upon themselves. That's just how it works. If they didn't do that, then it would probably get stale. And it's like, okay, guys, where are you going with this?
Yep.
But anyway, enough talk on my end about that. So,
yeah.
Why don't we get on? Yes, on to the topic, since we kind of got ourselves sidetracked with that. About 15 minutes, I think.
Well, it was kind of topic because of Nintendo.
Actually, it was about 15. Yep.
Yeah. So that was just a little appetizer for you guys. So let's get to the main course meal, and let's talk about this beefy rumor that's just popped up as of recently in the world of Nintendo. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, they have posted on their website that Netflix, the movie streaming service that you can get DVDs through the mail, or you can get access to their full library digitally through their service, they have actually teamed up with Nintendo to produce a live action The Legend of Zelda series for Netflix. So that is the big rumor going around that was popped up as of recently, as of sometime late last week, I think.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was late last week or the beginning of this week.
Yeah,
it was around that time.
It was last week.
Okay, so it was last week. Good.
Yeah, so there's this rumor going around that Nintendo could be possibly finally licensing their IPs for different uses outside of video games, since that in the first time in quite a while since we saw that with the Super Mario Brothers cartoon, as well as the Legend of Zelda cartoon, and even Captain N the Game Master, even though that's original. But this would be the first time in quite a while they would ever do that kind of thing. But this is what Netflix had to say based on the blog that they posted off of their website, or what the Wall Street Journal said off their website. And this is what they said. The Legend of Zelda, one of the most popular video game series of all time, is in the works as a television show at Netflix, and the video streaming service is in the early stages of developing a live-action series based on Zelda, about an ordinary boy named Link who must rescue a princess named Zelda and save a fantasy world called Hyrule, said a person familiar with the matter. As it seeks writers to work on the show, Netflix is describing it as Game of Thrones for a family audience, that person said. The Zelda games have traditionally included swords and sorcery, like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, but typically with a more lighthearted, kid-friendly tone. Netflix is said to be working closely with Nintendo, the Japanese game developer that has made about 20 The Legend of Zelda games since the original, which was released in the US in 1987. And Nintendo is very protective of its intellectual property and has allowed few adaptations over the years. An animated The Legend of Zelda series ran for just one season in 1989. A 1993 movie based on Nintendo's Super Mario Bros. Was an infamous bomb, is what they said. So, no offense, Jeff. Anyway, to continue, as it is still seeking a writer to work on the series, Netflix has a long road to travel before a Legend of Zelda series actually becomes a reality. It's also possible that Netflix or Nintendo will kill the project before it gets off the ground. A Netflix spokeswoman declined to comment. A Nintendo spokesman said the company doesn't comment on rumors and speculation. So that's pretty much what's been announced. As the Big N actually has come out and did claim, as of recent, about a couple days ago, that we will not. They said we will not comment on the rumors or speculation. So, looks like
they just did.
Yeah.
What did I say before we recorded? When I said that?
Basically, when someone says that, that means it's 100%
exactly.
real.
That's what I say.
Yeah, because they probably would have been quiet about it. They probably wouldn't even said a word. But yeah, it does seem likely that it is the case. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo is finally. I mean, if this does turn out to be true, then it looks like Nintendo has finally taken the first step to license their IPs for the first time in quite a long time.
Almost
in other mediums aside from video games,
right?
Like, I mean, we know that the Zelda series, the Zelda series actually has had some things that were outside of video games, like the mangas that appeared in Japan, and even as we were describing the TV series. But it hasn't even done anything like a live-action movie or specifically a live-action television series that's exclusive for a video streaming service like Netflix.
I know.
So Jeff, what are your thoughts about this? Well, I mean, what do you...
I'm 50-50, like what you said, Kyle. I'm glad that Nintendo's finally doing this because I feel like they're at a position where I feel like with them as companies since the Wii era started, that they try to distance themselves from the other two as competitors. I feel like that's kind of hurt them as a successful business. So I think that's what they're doing, trying to branch out their IPs to get newer kids today to see what they offer in regards to their IPs and other mediums. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that their games don't, appeal to other people, but I'm saying they're using other examples to appeal their IPs to other people through other mediums besides games. I feel this is a great idea, but at the same time, it does make you wonder if this is actually going to happen. Like, on one hand, I'm glad if this is the Nintendo that we want to see, like, to be more open, not only as a company, but open-minded as individuals. That they will let people say, like, hey, we trust you, we see your track record, do whatever you want. At the same time, as a longtime fan of Nintendo and just an overall, person who feels this way, I don't feel like it's going to happen because this is Nintendo we're talking about. Well, I just said right now, they've been like this for the last 20 years, that they would not let anyone touch their IPs. Unless if they were on their behinds 24/7. Like them breathing down their necks.
Right.
Because of the 93 bomb.
Of course. Well, they can't stay out of that. They can't stay in that hole forever. I always said to myself, they can't stay in that hole forever because of something that they something to their eyes didn't do well for what they hoped for. But if they continue to stay like this, it's just they're not going to change as a company. They're not going to evolve their business structure, even though they have been taking steps to actually evolve their business structure in many ways, like the quality of life program. And now Nintendo's also been talking about trying to get into education in some way or the other, based on what Iwata said as of recent to Nikkei analyst or shareholder or whatever.
No, but that proposal we heard from the once former producer of Spider-Man, Avi Arad, through the Sony hacks last November in regards to the Super Mario movie, CGI movie that was being done by Sony Pictures. They said the same exact thing. We don't, comment on rumor or speculation, which we all know that's happening now because of that same comments. But
of course,
I'm glad they're doing this.
Anyway, what were you going to say, real quick?
I'm glad that they're doing this, but I'm being skeptical because, as a longtime fan of Nintendo, I know the Nintendo that was for the last 25 to 20 years. They were really, I don't want to say stingy, but I know they really guarded their IPs closely because of something that happened years ago. And might I add, that movie, the reason why it bombed, you don't know why? It was released the same weekend as Jurassic Park was released.
That is true.
Yes, that's the right reason why it bombed. But yeah, that's my fault. I'm glad they're doing it, but it's just like at the same time, I'm wondering if it's really going to happen. Not because of Netflix, but because like this is really going to show me as a fan of Nintendo's products that they are really changing as a company. You know what I mean? I want to believe, but this is going to be an instance. Well, not only this, but the Mario movie we heard last November. Those are the two things that are showing me that if they're actually listening and actually seeing how gaming has evolved. Not only the game itself, but also the industry in general has evolved the last 20 years.
Right. Okay, Jerry, what do you have to say? What are your thoughts about this?
Here's what I think happened. The source of the news is the Wall Street Journal. And all this is coming from the source of the news. Everything that has been said on this rumor, supposedly, the Wall Street Journal's, I don't know what you call them, not a mole, but source. Whoever their source is somebody that apparently has works at Netflix. Everything is Netflix said. Netflix is describing it. Netflix is said to be doing this. So what I'm thinking is, it's somebody who got wind of this while I think what I think it is. I think it's in the earliest stages of planning.
Right.
And some schmo or somebody who just got real excited anonymously told somebody from the Wall Street Journal.
Just couldn't keep his mouth shut, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's somebody who just got really excited and decided, I gotta say something.
The people must know!
Because I'm pretty sure there's people at Nintendo who are even like, huh? We're doing this? Like, only like certain execs at Nintendo probably even have a clue what's going on here. So I think it's just something that somebody just, spreading it around, and I think it's happening.
Yeah. But
I honestly think they're in the very, very early stages of...
Yeah, it would be too early to even make any announcement like this. This would be something that would be like in development for maybe 2 or 3 years worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is something that somebody just couldn't hold it together and decided to just tell everybody, we're totally working on this when they haven't even
done actual work. I agree.
Exactly. I think
And to go even further, I do agree with you what you said about certain people. Like, the only people I know that must know that this is going on is obviously the creator of Zelda, Shigeru Miyamoto, the current head of the series, Eiji Aonuma, and obviously the big head honcho of Nintendo Japan / America, Iwata, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if this does turn out to be true, then I would say that they should have them on board, have all three of them on board as creative consultants to where they can actually work together to actually bring the best out of all this, because sometimes when you have collaborations like that, where they can either come up with agreements, disagreements, or even at compromises, they can tend to, they can either tend to break or make, anything.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they have a writer yet. I think they're still looking for one.
That's the thing.
Let alone actors or anything. I don't even think they have anybody set to write the thing.
Not only that, but we don't know if this is going to be an adaptation of one of the games, if it's going to be canon to one of the timelines, if it's going to be a non-canon thing. You know what I mean? We really don't know that either.
Exactly. Some people were mentioning that each episode or season can be a whole other timeline again. I have, like, that's just the wild speculation part of it.
That's kind of, I would say that would be kind of crazy to do based on the different eras or the different games, like for each season. I would say. I think
that's what's TV tropes called?
Too ambitious.
Wild mass guessing or epileptic trees, or I forget what they call it.
Yeah,
pretty much that.
Like way out there.
Like, honestly, what I would want to see in regards to a live action Zelda series or any type of adaptation is basically have it canon, but make it feel like something different. Like, take it place in like in a time we haven't seen already. Yeah. Like, for example, we haven't seen the gap between Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time.
One that hasn't been explored.
Yeah, like, or vice versa with the huge gap between Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past, which that would be really interesting because that's the timeline where we just found out that Link perished
in the final battle.
Yeah, that's really interesting for a live action adaptation when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. It's either that where he perishes in his battle against Ganondorf or Ganon, but I'm thinking it's Ganondorf because he would still be Ganondorf in his current state to where he would have all three pieces of the Triforce in order to become Ganon fully.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would definitely see that being a possibility, but if anything, if they wanted to be a bit more crazy, then try to do one like before Skyward Sword, like based on that manga piece.
God, do we really need more prequels?
Well, I'm just leaving.
I'm joking because it's kind of like the same thing how I feel about God of War.
Oh, I know, but just to have fun, something that hasn't been done in a video game or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. You mean that manga that was included with Hyrule Historia, right?
Yes, exactly.
Here's one thing I saw some people comment on, and I don't. Again, they're afraid of change, especially for a freaking TV show. Let him talk.
Oh, thank you for bringing it up because I've been seeing these idiots, and I am a dumb idiot.
You're seeing the same people, right?
No. Here's the thing: these idiots, and trust me, that is the kindest thing I can say about these particular fanboys. They're saying that his muteness is a character trait.
Bull.
No, you know what that is? That is technical limitations.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. I'm still getting sick and tired of people saying that Link shouldn't have a voice. I want to hear him actually speak. Something that we could actually take seriously.
I think that's one thing we all agree on. Let him speak.
Because
I think all three of us agree on that.
Because here's the thing: after Mass Effect, granted, it wasn't made by Nintendo, but it showed me that if you get quality VOs in anything, whether it comes to animation or a live action adaptation, or even a game, you will get good quality. That's the sad thing that would happen with a separate entry in a beloved franchise of mine, Metroid. The main VO wasn't bad, but I can understand why people didn't like that approach.
It's more like the script than her.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I agree with you, Jerry. It's the fact that people don't like change, especially these fanboys, which I just wish they would just grow up.
Did you see my reaction image to them? That's me.
Yeah, I did. No. That's mine, too.
I gotta see it.
And it's just like, this is my problem. It's not really Nintendo, because I love that we have a company that listens to their fans, like really listens to their fans. But this is one thing I'm worried about.
The loudest fans are the ones they shouldn't be listening to.
Exactly. This is the thing I'm really worried about this potential series, is because I feel like they're gonna listen too much to the overexposed fans that don't want difference in this different adaptation, and they think, oh, their word is just, we're gonna listen to them. And people like you, myself, Kyle, and a lot of our fans who share our mentality are gonna say, no, that is stupid. Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't mind if they took, and this is the funny thing we were just talking about a little bit while ago. I don't feel like Twilight Princess is gonna be, if they're gonna go that route of each season being a different adaptation of a particular game.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you one thing. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and especially Twilight Princess isn't going to be a TV adaptation. It has to be a film, because when you think of the set pieces alone...
You need budget.
Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, you will need a lot of budget to cover that off the ground.
And here's the thing, Nintendo, if you're listening, I know you're not listening, but here's a pitch.
You never know.
If you're going to do a Majora's Mask movie, there's only one director you need to get. David Lynch.
We gotta turn the power back on one floor at a time.
He said Lynch, not Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We don't need heavy Link.
But you know who will make...
No.
But in some joking speculation for cast, you know who'll make a perfect Ganondorf?
Prophecy of Hyrule.
Oh God!
Hyrule Prophecy.
Yeah,
That's what we're gonna call it.
We need to let you feel Ganondorf.
Beyond two Triforces.
But in all seriousness, a perfect casting for Ganondorf. The Cage himself, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that Cage.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But in all seriousness, I was just throwing it out there because I felt one of us was going to bring it up. But seriously, for Ganondorf, I would like to see Javier Bardem.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: if whatever they're doing with this series, in order to sell to the casual viewership that just watches Netflix,
Right.
it just knows Legend of Zelda just by name alone and just some of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You need a star, a big star, to sell the series.
Yes. Now, I will say, to add to that, if there's one person to play Zelda, it has to be Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter.
Not that, but I like to see something relevant to Robin Williams. Like, I would like to see him post-mortem as, like, his, facially constructed, like, as a statue of the King of Hyrule.
Yeah, I was gonna say as a king.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
And
Yes.
It's a perfect thing too. They could take it if this is gonna be a newly created adaptation specific for the show. They could say that the king just recently passed away.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Now with the Link himself, I really wouldn't mind if it was an unknown.
Oh, yeah, we need to have somebody who we haven't even known about. That
You're almost there.
is just an up-and-coming star who actually could have his own star role. That
Because
he could
I-
actually break into fame that way.
That's the funny thing, because before this actor was announced that he was going to be playing the Flash in the upcoming Justice League movie,
Uh-huh.
I would definitely say I think Ezra Miller would have been a good Link.
That's a good
Now
possibility.
now that's I can see that being out of the box because he's more drama. I mean, if anyone has seen the movie, we need to talk about Kevin. If there's one thing that people would honestly know is that freaking movie, him playing as Link, because he is a complete nutcase in that movie. Let's just say that.
To probably get you cringeworthy, Jeff, I actually been reading online that people said that Tyrese Gibson from Games of Thrones needs to be in the live-action Legend of Zelda show, but he should be playing the role as Tingle.
I second that. Instead, they need to get Nicolas Cage for him for Tingle. The guy needs to eat. I mean, he did lose his meal ticket and played as Giant Blaze in the Ghost Rider movies, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let him be something.
A random Scotella, let him be that.
Oh, I just thought I'd get you.
Hey,
I
actually,
just thought I'd get you.
I got a perfect one.
Okay.
You're almost at the roof.
Ganondorf? Or no, this will actually make sense. If they're going for Ocarina of Time, Darunia to be played by Gary Busey.
Oh my gosh!
I thought, wow. I thought Kyle
Wow.
would die right there.
One crazy guy. They would have to get him obese for that role.
Dangerously insane, man.
I would say him or Meatloaf, the singer Meatloaf.
Yeah, because who hasn't seen his Academy Award-winning role in Blood Rain?
When you Google Gary Busey, by the way, very first thing you see, all the pictures you see, the very first ones, all of them are of him screaming his head off.
Yep.
Into the air, not even at people.
That's why I thought about Gary Busey, because you remember when you played Ocarina of Time, when you play Surya's song in front of him, he gets to a freaking rave-like induced ecstasy of just dancing around madly. I just picture Gary Busey.
That's totally him.
Exactly. Either him or Nicolas Cage. Either which one.
Majestic. That is so majestic of him. He would get that role if he were ever to. Oh man, lots of good ideas.
That's the hard thing about the casting, because like I feel like with Link they definitely need to get an unknown, because it'll be great for an unknown actor to get his feet wet.
I love how for Gary Busey, by the way, as well, there's a Google has this little suggestion thing that says before accident, and he's totally normal looking.
Yep.
Well, all right. Anyways, go ahead. It's just funny. Like you just see this diffuse thing where it's like normal guy, crazy person.
Well, with Zelda, I really do feel like that. At least I really do feel like I don't think she'll get the role, but I feel like that whoever's doing the production, whether it's Netflix themselves or accompanying with Nintendo, or whoever the casting director is, I feel like that Zelda Williams should at least get a shot first and foremost. Because I think she's not really known compared to her sadly late deceased father, recently deceased father. But throughout the last couple of years, she's been really climbing it up there. I mean, recently she did the voice of Kariva in Legend of Korra, and I thought she did a phenomenal job too.
I forgot about that.
And I can see her doing a really good job as, no pun intended, Princess Zelda. Ganondorf, like I said, I feel like with the villain, they need that big star, kind of like how they got Kevin Spacey to be in House of Cards. You need someone to sell the series.
Yes.
How about
I originally was going to say Bryan Cranston as Ganondorf, but
how about this guy? He's playing Aquaman.
Oh, Carl. Oh no! I know Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Oh.
If they're going for the look from Twilight Princess, I can totally see that.
That's why. Yeah, I was just thinking of how he looked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
But here's the real question, guys.
Okay.
Who would play Impa?
That's such a good question.
Who would play Impa?
Now, if this was the '80s, I'd say Grace Jones.
Well, since we're talking about modern, early, since we're talking about late aughts, you can just type this name in. You'll see why.
And if people who don't know who Grace Jones is, she's the wild woman in Conan and.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
But let me look up who Jeff put.
Steer clear of the dogs. They can sniff you out.
You can understand why.
Well, she could play anything in my book. She could be Power Girl too.
I was just gonna say that. Good news, she'll be but bad news, we won't have a live action Power Girl.
I like how when you search her name and you go to Google image search, and how there, like I told you with Gary Busey, there was suggestions.
Yep.
One of the suggestions for her isn't even a thing. It's just it's just the dimension size so you can have a wallpaper size picture of her. 1920 by 1080. Not even a name or a costume. Just dimensions.
Oh god.
Oh man.
That's horrible.
Horrid.
That's horrible.
Wow. You know who else I like?
Who?
What's her name from Mad Men? always thought she was real.
Oh, she was also in Firefly as well too.
Yeah, what's her name?
Oh man, I know what.
Double R, you seen Mad Men?
No.
Dang.
I don't watch that much TV, to be honest.
I should know. I should know her name too because I just said she was also in Firefly.
Cause she's perfect. She's what's her? I'm looking up Mad Men now. Yeah.
I'm doing that right now too. Ironically,
We're both
we're doing it live, ladies and
doing it
gentlemen.
live.
So,
So, where's the cast? Where's the cast? Here we go. Nope.
Christina Hendricks.
Yes, her. Yes. Yeah, if you know who she is,
Go check that out.
she's perfect to be to anybody as well.
Now, since we're talking about that show, there's one person I gotta say that I would strongly suggest not getting.
Okay.
January Jones.
This light.
Oh yeah, she's the one
I
who
don't know.
played. She's the one who played Emma Frost.
Emma Frost,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, Emma Frost.
She wasn't bad, but
Yeah,
she
she's
was the
dead.
weak.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Emma Frost
It's
from
it's like despite
First
the fact,
Class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like despite her being pretty, it's like Christina Hendricks is pretty and can act.
Well, see, that's the thing with January Jones. I feel like she never acted in. See, that's the thing. I don't know if the fact that she was accustomed to doing a superhero-centric movie first, or you know what I mean.
Well, in Hollywood, they even made fun of it in "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker" in the '80s, where a bunch of women were running out in the TV in the movie, and one of them had a shirt that said "Another model turned actress."
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true. Even with that, it's really not the success of like for example, we've seen singers turn into musicians, and we've seen some that done really good.
I mean,
some that done
most
atrocious.
Deaf is actually a good actor.
Oh, no kidding! I remember seeing him in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I
Yeah.
thought he was a really good. I thought he did a very good job.
Some of them do make the jump well. So,
Uh-huh.
Including Marky Mark.
believe it or not, we'll give him just credit. He's not terrible in everything.
No.
Yeah,
And-
he's had some good roles and other things.
Some people would vehemently agree with us just saying that. He sucks at everything. No, he doesn't.
No. And I'll even say the same thing with
They're
that
like
current pretty boy that people love to hate on too. Channing Tatum.
Hey, he's not. I don't hate him.
It's the fact that when they started off, yeah, they were really not good actors, but since they gotten better thanks to the criticism they got from what we were just talking about, they've gotten better because of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Actors push themselves. Both actors and actresses, they push themselves to get better because they want to strive better, and that's how they usually get better in some cases. But going back to this, yeah, with Ganondorf, I think you really need, especially for the villain, the main
somebody
villain,
who has a physical
you
presence.
need star presence.
Yeah.
Not just for the
Yes.
villain, but just for the show in general.
Mm-hmm. I was going to make a joke and say, the guy in the cave, who says it's too dangerous to go alone, you must please take this or whatever, with in the original Legend of Zelda. There's only one person I feel that is good to play that role.
Who?
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. But honestly, if that was to be like a nice, tip of the hat / acknowledgement, there's only one person I think that'll be proper. Actually, two people.
For Lee?
Either AJ Numa
As long as
or
he
Shigeru
has a
Miyamoto.
eye behind.
Oh, the actual creators. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Behind him.
That'd be a nice tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Kind of like how
it would be.
kind of like how that Capcom produced Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, I had Ono
And,
show up. Yeah.
Ono is one of the shrunken attendees at the bar, which is perfect because that's how he is every day, isn't he? Right, guys?
Oh, we've seen Evo.
Oh.
Yes. I'm out to tell you.
not telling you
I'm
nothing.
out here to tell you that we're not making Street Fighter 5, but just between us, we're totally making Street Fighter 5.
And then it got confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
But
That
yeah, I
did.
feel like if they're gonna use that character, if they're gonna go all the way back to the first game, or even use portions of that first game, like that character, for this series, then I feel like that'll be a nice, acknowledgement, because I feel like that would, be a nice acknowledgement to not only the game series itself, but just to how strong this IP has been for the last 30 years. Because next year, 2016, will be the 30th anniversary of the series.
Yes, it will be. And also, it just makes me kind of wonder, too, if there was going to be a writer, who do you think would probably be best suited for it?
Well,
whether if it's in, like, TV shows, video games, movies, whatever.
I would say take a look at some of the biggest dramas that have really done good the last couple of years on TV. Look at some of the writers that have done, like, Breaking Bad or even The Walking Dead.
I was going to say, who wrote Game of Thrones, since they want to compare it to that?
I think one of them was D.B. Weiss.
Get that guy and just put a filter on him.
Let me check.
Just tell him he can't swear and have nudity, and you're like, oh.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, they would have to. I mean,
he'll either write Zelda or he'll kill himself.
I would say this, that I really don't think it would be wise to make it just family oriented. I mean, it's okay to have dark elements, but just don't, go overboard.
Exactly.
Like
you don't
I
have
would say
to,
go PG-13.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to have swearing, but you don't have to hold yourself too back.
Exactly.
Yeah, the showrunners are David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Yeah, get those guys and tell them to hold back some.
Yes.
I feel like there could be a lot of good writers. Like, I wouldn't mind, again, unknown writers.
If Nintendo was hiring, I'd do it. being a writer.
It's like, I know what to do. I'm a fan of the series.
And I am a writer. I mean,
I totally won't screw this up, but I'll be afraid because of the fanboys send me death threats to do this or that.
And then I'll just talk to Dan Slott, and I'm like, how do you do with this?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, I would say, we've had some prominent Western, people who are amongst the Western gaming under the Western developers that actually have written some really good games, like maybe somebody from BioWare or something.
That would be crazy, since it's funny that you brought people in the industry who are also known as who have conducted into other things too with other mediums. It'd be crazy.
What?
And I can see this happening. Ken Levine.
Which Ken Levine?
The creator of BioShock.
Okay.
Yeah, the
because
BioShock
people
guy.
tend to forget that before
There's
he
actually
made
another
games.
Ken Levine.
I knew that, but people tend to forget that his criteria wasn't really in games beforehand. It was in screenwriting.
Mm-hmm.
There could be something inside.
And I already know that he can write, and
Of course.
so he wouldn't be too bad.
The problem would be it would just be so meta. I mean, just look at the BioShock games. Then again, I would say to Nintendo, save him until you either do an adaptation of either Link's Awakening or Majora's Mask, because he will be great.
Oh, of course. Okay, well, I think we pretty much covered a lot, with our own speculation. Let's go ahead and give our final thoughts on what we think about this rumor before we wrap up this episode. So, my general consensus of what I believe from the whole thing is that I think we pretty much have all come to the agreement that it's still too early at this point, and we probably won't be able to get an official confirmation about till probably maybe E3 as a teaser, or maybe next year at least.
I agree. I feel like the realistic is that they're going to announce at E3, but not the full announcement. You know what I mean?
Right, but
they're going to
like
say, "Hey, we're doing this. We're doing this thing with Netflix, and that's it."
Mm-hmm.
You'll find more about it next year.
Yeah, just like give it a teaser, kind of like what they do with some of their games for their Nintendo Directs, like with the new Fire Emblem game that's in development for the 3DS right now. They just said next Fire Emblem in the works or whatever.
Which shocked me because
It's because they killed Shin Megami Tensei.
very much. I mean, have you seen the sales of Awakening?
Oh, Awakening's just blown up through the roof.
I know.
But anyway, that's how I feel about the whole situation. It could, I'm 50-50 like everybody. I mean, like both Jeff and Jerry. It's kind of hard to say at the moment, but I want to try and remain optimistic about this, so I'll definitely keep my hopes up to see if this actually becomes a reality. But I wouldn't say hopes up, but just, remain neutral about it until we officially hear if it's greenlit or not. But let's just, but I just pray that it is, but like I said, for the time being, I'll remain neutral. So, well, we will definitely keep you up to date to see if it actually becomes a reality or not. So, Jeff, what are your final 2 cents about this?
My final thoughts on this is that I feel like this is one of the best moves Nintendo has made in years. But knowing Nintendo as a longtime fan of their products and as a company, I feel like that there are going to be some people in the company that say we don't want to do this, while the people I mentioned earlier, like Shigeru Miyamoto, Anuma, and Iwata, are fighting for this. Because I feel like they want change, and I feel like they want to approach their IPs into different mediums, and I feel like this is a great opportunity, especially for someone of Netflix and their very good polished track record.
Oh,
It
yes.
could turn out something very, very good. And might I add, the people saying that he shouldn't have voice acting, that Link shouldn't be voiced, is the fact that also not only because they like to say that that is a trait, it's the fact that also because they're saying about a certain cartoon that came out almost 30 years ago.
Hey, Jeff, this is what I say to those people who say that Link shouldn't have a voice. And take a look at my screen.
Yep. I'll say the more PC approach, grow up.
Yeah. Now, that's pretty much what I would say right there. And Jerry, what do you believe? What's your final take?
Actually, I agree with Jeff. I think that this, if it all works out, this could start finally a change in Nintendo, like a chain reaction,
Oh, of course.
Like, starts off like, now that we're working with Western company to make videos or make a show, why can't we work with Western company to do this? Why can't we be more open about certain things?
Yeah, it's
Not
exactly.
be so draconian on YouTube, especially especially looking at content they're releasing. So hey, we're making a lot of money doing this. Hey, wait a minute, we'd make money if we let people talk about our games on YouTube, like.
That's it.
Or it's the fact that
like free advertising. I don't know.
Or the fact their rules are draconian in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. Like, maybe we should just be, not, you don't have to be, especially for games they don't make money off of anymore. Which is, by the way, the games we were playing on Nintendo-wise that we were playing were Pokemon Gold, not Heart Gold, Gold.
Just regular gold.
Which
from 2000.
Which is
Yes.
legally, the term is legally obsolete.
Yeah.
And the other one is Super Mario Brothers 2 USA, another
Which
game
is even
that
older.
Mario.
even more legally you're obsolete. That's not a word. Those aren't
Which
words.
is the word, because when you think about it, that one's the oldest one, and that is almost turning, 30?
Yeah. Games older than us.
And
Yeah.
it's turning 30 this year. Super Mario, the franchise.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think it can be
the-
a good start.
And of course, the ambassador game for that would be Mario Maker.
And I also agree that it is way too early to make any kind of solid opinion
Oh, true.
on
Yeah.
whatever the show's going to be. Like I said earlier, I think this news shouldn't even been out. That it was just somebody who was like, I just gotta say something.
Yeah.
Like
See.
some exec was like, yeah, we're working with Nintendo. And they just went and told Wall Street Journal.
I'm gonna tell everyone that it's the Zelda story. Yeah, I know. That's the problem with journalism these days in regards to the internet. They just like to post, stupid stuff just for clickbait.
Of course. Well, I hope this is not clickbait. I hope
No,
it's leading to something.
it's Wall Street Journal. Like I'm just saying, that whoever told them was way too excited and shouldn't have said anything yet.
Yeah, it shouldn't have said anything. Should have kept a close lid on it until an official announcement would be made.
Oh yeah, like Wall Street Journal is a much more reputable site in regards to sources than say other mediums, like for example
Hey,
the
look at
Sun.
this. One of our scouts left behind some equipment. The smoke bomb gives you cover from enemies.
But other than that,
You can also disrupt the laser beams,
is there anything else you guys wanted to comment about it, or
No,
are
I'm
you
good.
pretty much done?
I'm just gonna say this. I hope it really does happen. I really do.
Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah.
really do feel like that if Nintendo wants to see how to approach audiences in general, whether it's from their native country or
There.
Japan,
He's headed
and
the
to
tracking
us in
device.
regards to the Western
If we follow
audiences,
him,
I feel like this
he'll
is
lead
the
us
best
straight
approach
to
they could do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
expand it to other things instead of what they've been doing for the last 20 years in regards to just board games and toys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just approach it to other things. Like, hell, they were doing mangas. They just announced through Viz that they're re-releasing the A Link to the Past manga that was done by Ishimori, the guy who created Kamen Rider.
Yes.
They're re-releasing this in May. I think that's... these are things that I feel like that Nintendo are actually changing as a company for better in a very, very long time. And if I tell you, if they cancel this, and if this is known, that will piss a lot of their fans off. And that's one thing I feel like Nintendo does not want to do.
No. Yeah, it would really be heartbreaking. It would be like, really, you're going to still stick with the same shtick you've been in for the last 30 years?
It's not that, because like where they are right now, they're already in hot water. Like I think people are kind of blowing this out of proportion in regards to the creators program, but there's a lot of problems because of what it isn't. It's not a program, it's a multi-channel network. That's my main problem with it. That being said, if they go and say canceling, they say, yeah, we're not doing this. Imagine them being in hot water right now. They're going to be in a much worse scenario with their consumers than they are right now with this multi-channel network.
Oh.
If they cancel it.
Oh, yeah. It would be dissatisfying if that were the case. But, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with you guys. But like I said, we'll definitely keep you abreast of the situation until we get official word if this actually does turn out to be true, which we hope. But if it's not, then that's not going to be a good sign.
Well, let's just say it didn't come from, like, I got the source courtesy of hearditblur.com.
Ah, nice shout out. It's
But-
a joke, people.
Like we
But-
heard
The
from
tracking device
certain
is in
journalists.
but it's heavily guarded. We'll have to
But
find
realistically,
another way.
though, they do need to change some way. I mean, they can't be stuck in the same route that they've been for quite a while, or else that's gonna have a lot of people, still question their business structure, even though it's very archaic and outdated by today's standards. But like I said, it's too early. Like we said, it's too early to say. So we'll just definitely keep on the lookout for that. But other than that, I think that would be a good time for us to wrap up this episode of the Rift Table Arcade. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
As the guy who's looking at the recording, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for us to give our plugs in as well. So anyway, guys, we definitely hope you really enjoyed this episode on our talk about the possibility of a live-action Zelda series on Netflix here on the Rift Table Arcade. And to sign off, I am Double RPG.
I'm 16-bit Jeff.
I'm FighterXaos.
Any plugs you guys want to give before we log off?
It's not a plug, though. You can go to thebrokeninfinite.com where I write articles, like I stated earlier in this episode. I want to congratulate both Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty, formerly of the two hosts of Podcast Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
They recently left with this week's episode of 381, if I recall correctly. And I've been a long-time listener to this podcast. In fact, this guy over here, Jerry, was the one that got me introduced to the podcast to begin with. And that was around mid-2008, late 2008?
I want to say 9.
Around that time frame, yeah. And I've been a fan of that podcast since, so I just want to extend my congratulations to both of them, and I hope they are as successful as they are with the new venture Kind of Funny Games.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Did you hear something?
FighterXaos, how about you?
Alright, just got, Jeff already mentioned the Broken Infinite. That's the place where I VP, Vice President, so, of course I have to, I'm contractually obligated to.
Yep.
Contractually obligated. That's
a nice way of putting it, as
folks.
forced.
Yes.
Yeah. So also check out FighterXaos.deviantart.com. That's fighter, like a fighter, like a martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
FighterXaos.deviantart.com. All one word. And you can see my art. You can look at the commission info. On the left is how to pay me with money. On the right is how to pay me with DeviantArt points, which can be then turned into money, but only if you pay me through that little blue button there that says pay 500 points. Because if you just give me points, I can't turn it into money.
Do it now!
It's weird. And other than that, keep an eye on my Twitter, at Ikari Radio, IKARIRADIO. Keep an eye on that, because not only do I post my art stuff there anyway, you can also see when I start posting my webcomic. And you'll get the link to that as soon as it's up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On my end, I'll finally get to work on my Mega Man X4 review. In terms of voiceovers and live action footage, I definitely want to get that done before the end of February, so that way I'll be back and I can finally get to start on my Suikoden reviews, since Suikoden 2 is now on PSN. I said to myself, if that game comes out on PSN, I promise that I will review both those games back to back, and it's going to be a March and April review for both those games. So definitely be on the lookout for that coming for next month. You can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Double RPG Reviews, which I will have a link in the description for that. And definitely be on the lookout for my YouTube channel with all other content, even like 2 cents videos and such, which I do intend to get back on with, which I've been kind of slacking off as of recent, because I just was kind of having a writer's block, or just kind of having a blockage with trying to put up more, because I was kind of representing more of the same of what I've been talking about. But hopefully I can try to get out of that block right there. So yeah, definitely look out for something like that coming up, which I actually do have something in relation to this episode, possibly in the works, where talking about Nintendo and should they like do all sorts of things outside of just doing like the Netflix thing, but maybe like partner with Disney to produce like a cartoon, like mini cartoons based off their IPs and whatever. But I'll definitely have that in mind to bring up for a 2 cents video coming up, and maybe, who knows, maybe it'll be pretty soon, but I can't say for certain, but I'll keep you all posted on that. But other than that, I definitely have a lot of content coming from me along the way, and hopefully us at the Game Riffers will get on with more regular content with riffables, or just regular Let's Plays and that kind of stuff, but we'll definitely keep you posted on that. And other than that, just stay posted and stay gold, gamers. We will definitely be here to bring you more content whenever we get the chance. But other than that, it's time for us to say to you all goodbye, and we will catch you next time for another exciting episode of the Riff Table Arcade. This is Double RPG signing off, and we will see you later. Godspeed, gamers, and game on. Peace.